Hello viewers and welcome to the second of our Forza 6 videos from Gamescom 2015. Now looking at the new edition, wet weather driving. Here you see us at Brands Hatch, a circuit I know well and enjoy a great deal, going into turn 1, and it's a journey into the unknown. There is a braking line, but I'm not really using that myself. I tend to use much more visual braking, going around avoiding that big puddle on the inside. Now I know this circuit very well, and at the same time I am being very tentative. This is a much slower car than the one I was in a few moments ago racing around Rio, so I was aware that I just had to be tentative. So encountering puddles for the first time, I was lifting as I went through the puddles just to stabilise the car, and then getting on the power. About doing a clean run, but also hitting a few puddles here and there and just getting a feeling on how they affect the car, and they really are quite significant. You really have to learn how to approach some of these. We go around this long corner up the hill now on the power into the fast right-hander, so going up on the inside, and I just hit a puddle there, and you can see the car completely loses control, and again it gets a bit of speed there. I don't know if I got a hit or something, sends me into the other wall. So what I learned there was, obviously you hit a puddle and you are a passenger. Having said that, the wheel issue may not be tied to the puddles. I'm making another video just looking at the wheel and the opposite lock issue, which I've encountered in the last 2 Forza games, which also applies to that. But when you do hit the puddles, the car becomes very unstable. Normally Brands Hatch, in my experience, has always been closed during this much standing water, simply because it's so dangerous and unpredictable when you go through these puddles at high speed. It's very tricky indeed. Working my way around. Nice spray effects from the water. I could do with a bit more spray, I think, from the other cars given the level of conditions here, but either way, catching the wheel spin there as I went through the puddle on the inside, was taking the racing line, and could see how it affected me here. Another puddle under the bridge here, I could see that coming, so a little lift, see how it affected the car as well into this final corner. And of course we've got a camber, so the water will be rolling across to the right, so I'll be avoiding the right hand side, and you'll see a puddle there. Don't want to be hitting that at speed. So lots to learn on this first run. This was the first run of 2, so I had a practice run just to see what the water conditions were like, and now I run it again, and this is now aiming to do a clean run. Nobody managed a clean run during the day when I was there, so it was nice to just get the chance to put one in now. So I'd learned from the first run where the puddles were, how they affected the car, a rough idea on how to approach them. I think that's the difference between dynamic and sort of set weather, is once you learn where the puddles are and you learn which puddles you can go through flat out, the challenge of wet weather drops considerably. Whereas when you have dynamic and you see these puddles for the first time and you don't know how deep they are, that's when there's a real challenge there, because there's more risk reward in that sense in terms of the dynamic side. But either way, from a visual perspective, Turn 10 have done an amazing job on Xbox One. They're bringing it together piece by piece. As I work my way around there a bit quicker this time, learned a bit more about how to turn into some of these corners, obviously taking a wider line through a couple of corners here and there, you'll see. But this is a water would run downhill here, so it's okay around there. But I'm now aware of this upcoming puddle that sent me off before, so I'll be lifting or avoiding it ever so slightly there. That's it. Didn't hit it full on this time. Closing on the car in front, and you're just trying to carry some speed, but obviously aware of the fact conditions are that there is no grip. So you know, if you will fly off the circuit if you aren't careful. There is a puddle on the inside here as well, but again, just a bit of lifting. I'm taking it very slowly, trying to keep the car as straight as possible on the exit. Puddle at the bottom of the hill, taking a bit more risk here, hitting it harder. That's it, going through. And now last couple of corners. I'm going to final couple of corners coming up. I'll avoid the inside line this time, knowing that the water's on the inside. See if I can carry some speed around the outside. Turned out to be quite challenging just keeping the car on the outside because it understeered so much in the conditions, but either way made it round there. So it will show the different lines you need, and you'll need to test those in terms of whatever works best. But a learning experience. Some more to talk about when I look at the handling in another video in more detail. We're going to complete this run. That was Brands Hatch in the wet. More Forza action from me very soon.